That's stupid.
Sorry.
Okay,
Start small, basically.
Yes.
Don't expect to light a candle like on Practical Magic.
Yeah.
You can stare at a
Blow
candle.
that candle in.
Stare at a candle for a really long time. And maybe it'll move and maybe it won't.
Right. But like, so there's different ways of giving into your gift. And I really, as an intuitive witch, I really do feel that being open to spirit is very important. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, I've told Maddie the story before, but like, to me, it goes very in tune, with the using your gifts and maintaining being in tune. So when I was a young mom, I was like 22 years old. I only had 2 kids at the time, my 2 oldest kids. I lived in low-income apartments, and I was home alone with my kids when a teenage boy that was a full head and a half taller than me and much larger than me came to my door with some weird sob story about needing a couple bucks for what the fuck ever. And completely out of character for me, I allowed him to come into my home. And then and this was before I was like really, really, I was the mother of small children living on a low income. I wasn't practicing a whole lot other than intuitively with spices in the kitchen and things I did about like setting up my home and putting eggs around and things like that. So this was very out of character for me, but out of nowhere, I got a message to like tell that homie he gotta empty his pockets. And so I did. I was like, you can come in, but I'm a young woman at home alone with my kids. I need you to give me all your weapons. And he had a minimum of 3 on him because he had 2 knives and something else, and possibly something else, or maybe he gave me his lighter. I don't remember. But as a young woman, like, very out of character for me. Like, letting him in my home was very out of character for me, even with his sob story. But I let him into my home. We smoked the peace pipe together. He said some things that made me feel like he had ill intent coming into my home. He came into my home with multiple weapons, and as we were parting ways that day, he apologized, and then, we parted ways, and he came back multiple times. And as I was telling Maddie, like, I truly feel like spirit intervened, not to save me, but to save that kid. Mm-hmm. I truly feel like, because it was 1,000,000% out of character for me. Me now is much more likely to be willing to allow that in because at the time I had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, I was home alone with my little kids. My husband was gone for the day. Like, anything could have happened. But I don't think it was for me that I let that kid in my apartment. As we were talking earlier, I have always thought that was for his sake. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, because he came back to talk to me multiple times after that. And the things he said during our encounter led me to believe that he had come over for nefarious purposes. I assume to rob me, but I don't really know. So, whereas, like, you should protect yourself all the time, you should also be open to spirit and the voices that come to you, because sometimes we're placed in another person's path for a fucking reason. Like, Maddie had, when we were talking before the episode, she had suggested that, like, maybe it was so he wouldn't do something he would later regret. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me, because I really think that he had some problems. And I also really think that he turned his life around that day. Like, that's just the feeling I get, because he came back multiple times to talk. And even one time he brought the weed. Like, he brought his own weed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, like, it's all about being open. And, like, when you are regularly, because, like, Maddie and I do tarot readings every other week. But when you're regularly using your gift and then you don't, that affects you.
Mm-hmm. It does. It really does. It makes you feel overwhelmed, tired, literally weighed
frazzled.
Down.
Like, I felt like too much electric energy around me. Like if my hair wasn't curly, but like 80s crimped,
Right.
Yeah, that's the energy. That's the energy that I felt at times during that break. And it wasn't a break on purpose. It was like things prevented us from doing those readings, right? So it's like literally there was a need to expend that energy. There was a need to open up and connect with the divine and practice. And so when we finally did, it was like such a
relief. It was like
moment.
weight had been lifted. Yes.
It was like bathing in that ray of light coming down from the heavens. You know, it was a really, really good
Intense,
experience.
good.
It
intense.
was.
Yes.
And I think that personally, as a hedge witch, and maybe if you're not a hedge witch, a kitchen witch, or a green witch, this won't resonate with you. But I think in addition to things like tarot and oracle readings or divination of any kind, it goes along with practicing your practice, like cooking with intention. There was a time where I had stopped cooking with intention. It was cooking because we had to fucking have dinner. You know what I mean?
But yes.
Right. And so like cooking with intention, purposefully putting these herbs in, purposefully putting the love in. Like my garden is and I purposefully sowed those seeds with love. And I could be crazy. Maybe this is a spiritual psychosis setting in, but I truly believe that those vegetables are doing as well as they're fucking doing because they were like, she loves us. She's going to take care of us.
Dude, I hate it when I feel a spiritual psychosis coming on. Do you ever feel it coming on and you're like, wait, I gotta stop? Because I be doing that sometimes. I'm like, hold on, I'm about to go over the edge.
I think the problem is that, no, I don't.
Oh, no!
The problem is that I'm like, no, this shit makes sense. I'm digging deeper. I'm
God,
this wave.
I have this thing where I can identify right before I fucking go crazy, and I'm like, hold on, I feel like I'm going bad shit. We were just having this conversation with the tree.
I just don't think I'm ever thinking I'm crazy.
We were just having this conversation,
which may
with
be
the
a bigger
tree.
problem. I know.
That sounded crazy as a.
I just think that the tree, it is like skinning a corpse. I'm just saying. Like, it might have been a dead tree, but trees are people too.
It was weird.
Check out our plant sentience episode. Seriously. Like, check out all of our tree episodes. They're people too. I mean, like, literally, when I say the problem is that I don't, it's that the problem is I don't go, oh, this is too crazy. I'm like, no, this makes sense. I'm digging deeper in. Chris leaves the room and I'm about to blow your mind.
You're right. Well, I'm curious.
I think that is a problem. I don't know. That's probably a
Are you guys
problem.
going to be practicing your gifts now? What
are you going to look up ways to exercise them? Because, like, we know a couple of ways, but there's a ton of ways. Like, are you going to check out last episode if you haven't already so that you know the eclairs we're talking about, the delicious chocolate eclairs that are cream filled and wonderful, and they exist in all of us. You have to listen to last episode now if you didn't. Yeah,
yes.
You have to. So,
hey, Melissa.
Hey, Victoria. Thanks for being our patrons. If you want to get ad-free early release episodes, swag from these witches, more of your favorite witches, and behind-the-scenes content, as well as that shout-out, visit us at patreon.com/WitchesTalkingTarot.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are so close to reaching our goal. I want to look and see what we're at right now, but like we are so close to reaching our goal. Follow us on Facebook or like us on Facebook at WitchesTalkingTarot. Yep.
All right. Thanks for coming to sit with us, Espel.